Hello, welcome back to my channel, Mel Stampin' Gallery. I'm Melanie, and for today's layout, it is time for another challenge video with my teammates over at the Inspiration Collaboration Design team. This month, our challenge was to use embossing folders on a 12 by 12 scrapbook page, and I am going to be using this embossing folder. It's a 3D embossing folder. You can see it is oversized, and you can see all the embossing folders in the catalog. If you have a catalog, they are on page 129, and of course you can see them all online if you do not have a catalog, and I will put a link down below to the website where you can find all these embossing folders. But you can see we have hybrid embossing folders. We have, they call them Oh So Organic, kind of a distressed look, and then some pretty patterns that they have. But some of these are what we call the 3D embossing folders, and they are heavier and they make a much deeper impression on your cardstock. Now, the tricky thing is, of course, it's not 12 by 12. You can't get 12 by 12 through your Big Shot or your die cutting machine. So I am going to show you a different way rather than just simple embossing a piece of cardstock and putting it on your layout. I'm going to show you a couple of different ways that you can use the embossing folder with your pattern papers and your layout. Now you may have noticed I have the Gnomes for Summer kit on my desk here, and that's because I am going to be using the scrapbooking kit to help me document these photos that we took when we went to the splash pad, local splash pad here in town when my granddaughters spent the night. So we had a lot of fun, and I wanted to get these pictures documented as soon as possible. And to help me do that, like I said, I am using the Gnomes for Summer scrapbooking workshop, and I'm actually going to be pretty closely following layout number 1 here, like I said. So let me go ahead and clear this off and bring in my cardstock bases, and we'll get started scrapping. So I am working on a 12 by 12 white daisy base, and according to the sketch, it's got these 4 different banner pieces, and I have cut them down to size according to the sketch. And this first one here measures 4 by 11, and according to my diagram, that's going to go about a ½ inch over from the left hand side. Next, I'm going to be putting down this ballerina, and that measures 4 by 10 and a half, and according to the diagram, that goes about 4 inches from the left hand side. And let's see, the next piece is this pattern paper, and that measures 2.5 by, I think, 9 3/4, and that's going to go over at 5 inches from the left hand side. And all these will get dovetailed, but I just want to get these put down for placement. And then my Sundance piece measures 3 by 10, and that gets put at 2 3/4 from the left hand side. And actually I think this one is on the top. And then I'm going to go off camera and I will dovetail all these. But so that's where the background goes, and then we have our 3 pictures. The first one is the 4 by 6, and then on each side is the 3 by 4s, kind of like that. And I'm going to go ahead and mat those. There is a lot of blue, and the color that goes with this collection is Journey, but the Journey just too green looking with it, and there's a lot of blue. So if I tried it with some blue, and that just didn't work. Rosy is also a coordinating color, and because their suits have some of that pink rosy color, I think if I mat that on the rosy, I think that will make those pictures stand out quite nicely, and it'll bring the focus to them rather than if I do it on the blue or the journey, the focus then becomes the pool and the water, and I don't want that. I want the focus on the subjects, of course. So I'm going to mat those in the rosy, and those will go about like this. Now, what I want to show you is how I'm going to use the embossing folder. So what I want to do is use this embossing folder, and I like this because of the arches and the little circles. Totally reminded me of the arches in the splash pad with the water coming out of the spray. So I wanted to use that, but I'm going to use it as a stamp. All right, so here's a piece I did for practice, and it's not a real good piece, but I know it's going to go like that. So I'm going to clear all this out of this way, and I'll show you how I use my embossing folder like a stamp. So I'm going to take a Stampin' Pad, all right, and for this particular one I do have Marina Mist, and that is an older retired color from Stampin' Up, but if you have Azure Afternoon, that one I found worked really well for my purposes. It went with my picture, but of course if you wanted to use the journey and the journey went with your pictures, of course go ahead and use that. So I've got an all-purpose mat back here, and of course the blue, look, I've practiced, I've already got blue fingers. You want to make sure that you're using your all-purpose mat so you don't get it on your desk. And I am barely touching the surface of this because these Stampin' Up! Pads are very, very juicy. Are they not? So I'm barely swiping the surface. And if I get a little bit extra on there, I can wipe it off with a paper towel. And it does kind of bead up because it's plastic. And these are, I think, water-based inks, I think. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. All right, so I'm going to wipe some of this up off the edge here. All right, and then I'm not going to close it. I'm going to leave it open, and I'm going to very carefully move my white paper over. I'm going to flip it over and very carefully, ooh, I almost dropped it. That wouldn't be good, would it? That's okay, I have more paper. Just lay it down without moving it and just press all over. I could use a brayer to rub over here, but I think that would move the embossing folder too much, so I'm just using my hand and I'm just pressing down all along all the edges. Okay, now when I lift it up, you should have a nice circular stamped image. So let's lift it up carefully, and there you go. So see how that just reminded me of the water coming out of the fountains there on the splash pad. I want to show you, I did it down here. This is going to be the right-hand page. I did it down on the lower right corner, but I also want to tell you, so to clean it up, of course, it's very simple. If you were near a sink, you could just run it underwater, but I'm just taking my stamp chamois and just wiping it off, and then I can take it to my sink later and wash it off, but my sink is upstairs and I don't want to go up there right now, so there you go. Just clean that up, and later I will clean it up more thoroughly. Now, before I go ahead and start putting down all the papers and so forth, I decided it needs a little shimmer because the water is very shimmery, right? So I've got a little bit of this is one of my shimmer brushes from Close to My Heart, and I'm just getting a pool of it, and this is the clear on my acrylic block, and I'm just going to tap it on here. I think I want a little bit more. Let's get a big pool. There we go. And we'll just tap it along here to mimic the shimmer of the water. And then I can just take a paper towel and wipe that off my block. Now I'm ready to put the background papers on. Getting ready to adhere my pieces down. I'm preparing all these banner pieces, and I've got these for the one page already dovetailed. I thought I'd show you real quick my method for dovetailing them. I know some people just snip in from each corner to the center, but I find it's a lot easier if I just pinch the corners together and just hold it and snip from the corner into the fold. And it does not leave a crease because I didn't fold it, and then I have a perfectly shaped dovetail. So I'm going to go ahead and do that for the rest of them. Now all my pieces are dovetailed, and I want to take and sponge the edges, and I'm going to use this is what is this one? Strawberry Slush. Of course, one of the coordinating colors from this set is the rosy, so if you have rosy you can use that. I just don't happen to have rosy, and this one did coordinate quite well, so I'm going to go ahead and do all the edges with that, except for that lemonade piece, or not lemonade, Sundance. I'll probably do Sundance on that one. The 2 pages are pretty much put together except for the title and the embellishments. So for the title, what I decided to do, well actually I decided with a little help from a friend, I wanted to definitely use the word splish splash because it definitely goes with this, and I definitely wanted to use this little hose. But this doesn't have a thin cut, so I had to just stamp it on white cardstock, and then I fussy cut it out and I stamped it with that matching Strawberry Slush rosy color, and I fussy cut that out because I like it kind of nestled up here in the corner. So I'm going to put that on there with some Stampin' Dimensionals, and then of course I stamped and cut out the little sprinkler, and I used I think the Marina Mist for that, but of course you could use the Journey or whatever it is that you are working with. So I like that there. And then from the sticker sheet they have this little journal piece. I'm going to, I think, put that over here in the corner. And then I really did keep the embellishments quite simple. I've got some different things from the sticker sheet, and these 2 were actually from this older set from Close to My Heart, Keeping Cool by the Pool. I don't remember the exact name of it. All right, but I already had those, so that was a bonus. I already had those cut out, stamped and cut out, so I thought, oh, those will be perfect on here. So let's see, let's fiddle with that right there. And what do we got? What else have we got? Oh, from this stamp set here, the Gnomes for Summer, we also have the little sun, and I took and put the smiley face sticker on there. Let's put that up in that corner. You brighten my day. I really like that. So the girls had so much fun going to the splash pad. It was a really overcast day, so we had the place pretty much almost to ourselves. And then if you look here, can you see this green shirt? That's Granddad. He had just come from bike riding, and he of course got in the sprinklers with the girls. They like to mess around with Granddad. He has so much fun with them. It's really so much fun to watch. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and adhere all this down. Let's see, like I said, this is going to go with some Stampin' Dimensionals. And one last thing, I've got Stampin' Dimensionals here on this little soda pop bottle. I'll stick that up there. So if you like this video, don't forget to give that a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that you are notified every time I upload a video. Now, one thing I want to do right here on this journaling tag, I'm going to go ahead and put my journaling on later after I get the pictures taken for my social media pages. So I'm just temporarily adhering that down, and then I'll probably pop that up with some foam tape as well. But there you go. There's the 2 pages. Hope you can see that good. Can you see how I stamped with that embossing folder, and I added the sparkle and shine to that as well. So thank you so much for joining me. And don't forget, this was a collaboration with the other gals in my inspiration collaboration design team. So don't forget to check out their links down below, along with all the links to the products to purchase if you so choose. Thanks for joining me. See you next time. Bye.